Golden Era.
City to city, I'm on the go. You keep on texting when I'm coming home. Hold up, taking off, call you back soon as I.
What's up, world? I am Jatron. We are here at Cal State LA with Sosupersam. How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm well, thank you.
She's actually going to be performing today at our campus, performing her new EP, which we're very excited about. You want to talk a little about the EP?
Sure. I just put out an EP. It's my first one, and I'm actually singing on it. It's called Garden. It came out the 23rd of September, and it's available now on iTunes, and you can stream it on Spotify or YouTube.
And it has some pretty cool features. I was checking it out. Congratulations, by the way, on the EP. And I see Pilo on it, Esta produced on it, J.R. Jarvis. So can you talk a little about the process of making it, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this being my first venture, I guess official venture into singing. I've been singing my whole life, but when I went to put this project together, it was a bit of a challenge because, I know a lot of producers, and I have a lot of friends who make beats, and they're really, really popular and like well established, and that's great and all, except it was very uncomfortable and awkward for me to ask for beats and be like, I'm gonna sing on them when I don't really have like a proven track record of my singing. So really, I think that the EP really came about because certain people took a chance on me and were willing to send me their beats, whether they were great ones or throwaway ones to them. I was just taking whatever I could and doing my best to write to them to the best of my abilities. So J.R. Jarvis sent me a folder, and I was just really, really grateful, and that's how Like came about. And that was the first song that I wrote with my writing partners. And it was just such an incredible process for me. That I was just kind of hooked, and we put out that song, and that kind of garnered a little bit more, I guess, awareness of what I have been trying to do.
Yeah, for the longest time.
Yeah, and so it opened a few more doors with a few more other producers that I know. And Esta being one of them, Crane being another.
Shout out to Esta and Crane.
Yeah, shout out to Esta and Crane. Yeah. And then, so I think it was just about getting people to believe that maybe I could do it, and also getting myself to believe it too.
Definitely.
So this has been a years in progress,
I know.
years in the making, for sure.
That's why I said, I mean, it's good to like actually take your time with this craft, and you did a really amazing job on it. I absolutely love every track on it. I was doing a little research. I see that you actually helped produce one of your tracks. Was that true? Like, do you produce right now? Are you producing?
I think I can. I have like a very rudimentary skill set at producing, and I kind of know terminology, and I'm familiar with certain DAWs, if you will.
Cool. Yeah.
But to say that I'm a producer, no.
Okay.
The track that I think you're referring to is Anyway, and it was
was
more like I executive produced it. So my friend who was playing the keys, she laid down some keys, and I had a very like clear vision of what I wanted the drums to sound like.
Right.
So I didn't technically engineer the drums, but it was really, producing is a lot of things. So it could be as technical as making the beat and engineering it and laying down every instrument on it, or it could be more of a visionary role, like a Rick Rubin, for example. Right. So he doesn't actually touch anything, but he knows exactly what everything should sound like, who should be on it, where, the arrangement, etc. So that was sort of my producer role in that particular track. Yeah.
And like, what inspired you to do this? Like,
I think it was just really an experiment. When we started writing, I just wanted to get better at recording so and get more comfortable with the writing process and the entire creation process.
Right.
So we just kind of went into the quote unquote lab, and just every day I would lock myself in my friend's basement. We'd write to anything that was in our hands. We'd cut vocals until I was completely comfortable with a mic in front of my face, and I could start to hear things in my voice and start to pick out things that I really liked and the register that I really felt comfortable singing in. So everything has just sort of been an experiment, and what has come out of it is my EP. Okay. So in terms of inspiration and influence, there's definitely a lot of 90s R&B influence. So yeah, there's a couple little references to Keith Sweat and Faith Evans.
Yeah.
I think that the end, which is the last track on my EP.
Beautiful track. I heard it last night. I really paid attention to listen to it last night. Man, I was like, no tears, please.
Yeah, it was a little emotional.
Yeah, it was.
But it sort of reminded me of like an early Mariah Carey ballad, like very 90s stripped down. Outside of that, I think just really making a statement about where I'm at in my life and in this process, and kind of allowing people to grow with me.
Right.
And then just sort of express the journey, I guess.
You took a lot of your time singing to Pickles. Shout out to Pickles, right?
Yeah, just practicing. She's a great audience.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful dog. So you actually been DJing for like a minute now, and I knew you started off as dancing before.
Sure.
I know you did that, and then you segued into singing a little bit, and then you started DJing. I remember hearing something about you had like cousins and relatives, and even somebody that you knew from the Beat Junkies that got you into this whole process. Like, what was the whole process for you? Like, I know I kind of just named a couple things. Like, can you tell us, like?
I think that in terms of just music in general, I started dancing when I was 3. So my connection and my relationship with music started very, very early.
Yeah.
And it was just about like dabbling in anything that was music related. So from dance at 3 years old, it's sort of, I always danced until the end of college. And then I did musical theater and choir and anything that had to do with the performing arts. I definitely wanted to be involved in it. At the same time, growing up in the 90s, one of my cousins was the manager of the Beat Junkies. So I grew up around a lot of DJs, and it was just something that was very ingrained into my sort of lexicon of like how to express yourself musically. So when it came time for me to actually DJ, I had a lot of exposure to it already. I had dated a few guys who were DJs growing up. It was just something that I was always very interested in.
Right.
So when it came time for me to step behind the decks, like I kind of had some sort of basic knowledge
Of it, yeah.
to grow with it. And
Awesome.
So I've been DJing since 2009.
2009.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And you've been hosting 143, which is a dope event. And for those of you that don't know, it's a LA event, R&B. It's San Francisco, right? You guys have it in San Francisco as well?
We do, yeah.
Yeah. So R&B party used to be Los Globos, now moved to the Echoplex, right?
Sure.
So can you talk a little about how you started off doing that, please?
Sure. So I, with a couple of my friends, we started 143, and it really was born out of, I got a residency at a speakeasy that had just opened up in Koreatown, and they were like, we want you to play once a month, and it'll be great. And as soon as I showed up, I started playing what I like normally played, which was, R&B and rap and what have you, a little house music, just kind of very eclectic. But they quickly kind of hit me with all these like sound restrictions and music restrictions about not having heavy bass, no rap, no house, no, you name it. Like I couldn't really play it. So there was a point in time where I needed to decide, do I want to do this? Like maybe this residency isn't right for me, or maybe I keep it, get creative, like really think about it. What can I do that will make them happy, that will also make me happy? And I think that most life decisions that I've made come from that sort of school of thought. So what can I do that will make you happy, that will also make me happy, right?
Yeah.
And so what I came up with was, hey, I remember two of my friends, we would always kind of joke about and fantasize about, what if we could play slow jams really loud? And I was like, maybe that's it. Maybe this is our opportunity to play slow jams, because it kind of fits what the speakeasy wants. I don't think we'll get in trouble, and we'll get free drinks, and we can just play slow jams really loud, and that's it. So that's pretty much how it got started. It was called 143. This was like 3.5 years ago, at a 100-person capacity bar. It was an immediate hit with all our friends.
Right.
There was just something so, everyone discovered this like visceral reaction to hearing slow jams aloud, and kind of like looking around and realizing, usually this genre of music is so personal and intimate, and something that you listen to by yourself in earbuds or in your bedroom or with the person you're dating, but it's not really a communal genre, right? So we sort of opened up or expanded everyone's mind a little bit, like, oh my gosh, I'm experiencing this song with you. We all know the words, but we've never listened together. So everyone kind of found themselves singing all the words, but aloud with all their friends. And what ends up happening is just like people bust up laughing, and it just becomes like a shared experience. So from there, it just kind of grew over the past like 3.5 years, and now we're at the Echoplex. It's been like a journey. But now we're at the Echoplex. We're still once a month, and then between the LA dates, we travel quite a bit too. So we've been able to take our party to San Francisco, which is another great place for 143. We've also done New York several times, and Miami, Vancouver, San Diego, Boston, and hopefully we want to take it overseas at some point.
Like a worldwide tour.
I would love to do that. But I think we're in a great place, and everything has just been so fun and beyond our wildest expectations.
Right. And I've really had a really great experience at these events. I know you guys have like special guests. I know you guys had Genuine like a while ago. Some DJs from the Selection Crew, and it's something different in LA, and something that LA really needs, because you have your do-over, you have the Low End Theory, but then you need that love. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful to have that type of event in LA.
Thank you.
And I congratulate you on that, by the way.
I mean, it's definitely like, I've had so much fun at the do-over. That's sort of where I got inspired when I was like a young DJ, and I just love the energy and the vibe there. So, and I love Low End Theory. I just love these like sort of staple like legacy parties. Cinespace back in the day was another one. Banana Split, and Denmark Tuesdays, like just real, just real vibes. And obviously parties don't last that long unless they're doing something right. So we took notes from all the parties that we looked up to and tried to create something similar, but obviously in our own way and in our own voice. So it's like really fun. I think it's the most important part, and I think what's really worked for us is just making sure we're having fun.
Right.
Because
that's what matters.
If we're having fun, most likely everyone else is having fun.
Yeah, they'll feel your energy.
Yeah, and it's this blank canvas to just do whatever you want. So with us, like, because we had already experienced some sort of success off of, hey, what if we just did a slow jam party? And it started to gain some traction. We were like, well, what else do we want to do that why don't we just do it?
Mm-hmm.
So we would always joke around about having Cisco come and like backflip into the dance floor out of nowhere and do the thong song. So we would always joke about it. And then one day we were like, well, why don't we actually do that?
Yeah.
So then we brought in Cisco, and he like
make it happen.
did a surprise set, and from there it's just always been about like, what else can we do? What else do we want to do? Why don't we just blow up Frank Ocean's head and like have it float around on a piece of cardboard throughout the night? So we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been about kind of just doing
having
whatever
fun with
you
it.
want. Yeah, just
seriously,
not
and
taking it too seriously and having fun and just coming up with fun ideas and making them happen, and hope that people are down.
But we're out of time right now.
Okay.
I know you got to perform. No, I know you got to perform like in a little bit.
Okay.
Just one more thing. What would you say to aspiring artists out there that are starting off, maybe producing, anything, starting a business or anything like that? What would you like recommend for them, for aspiring artists?
I say find a balance of just working really, really hard at being the best at what you want to do, and also sharing it,
Right.
and finding ways to share it with people. I think that both play an equal part in each other, and there is no cart and horse with that. It's just both need to happen equally and as impactfully at the same time. Cool. So I think a lot of people try to get their marketing right before their actual skill set develops, or they work on their skill set and never share it. They have the bomb-ass playlist, but they don't want to share it with people.
They don't want to share it with people.
Yeah,
Man,
and
I
it's
hate
like
that.
they're sitting on fire and like they don't want to share. So I think it's about having the bomb playlist, but also like being the best and also knowing how to share it with people and being generous.
Yeah.
So I would say do all of that.
That's kind of my thing too. Like I have all these bangers, and I'm like, that's why I made this radio show to, expose it to people, because these are all like artists from SoundCloud, like up and coming artists that I always dig for. Anyways, do you want to give like a quick shout out to anyone out there listening?
Shout out to 143. Shout out to Selection. That's my fam. And shout out to you. Thank you so much for your time.
I'ma do that thing, what you like, rotation.